Welcome, podcast fans. Welcome back. This is the pairing mode, and we got some stuff to talk about. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about a bunch of stuff. Yes, I wanted to change my little intro. Let me take a look down here because we got a number of things. I'm trying to be jovial. We all have other things we do all week, and it's been a bit of a rough one. So I'm trying to be jovial. Let's look at all the good things in life, right? Okay.
Always glass half full. And hey, like, subscribe, thumbs up. We would sure appreciate it. It helps the channel. If you want to see this goofball and this goofball and that goofball every week, then you got to join in and
okay.
chuckle along.
Is AI getting too real looking to tell the difference? Now I'm talking about the new AI videos, and especially VEO3. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about ooh, I didn't remove that. I had a note down here, and I missed it. We got some other things we're going to talk about too. We got some other new stuff. We got that. We got our main story, and Facer is coming back in the not coming back in the news, never really out of the news technically, but they will be supporting Wear OS 6 and Google's new, well, I guess you can call them rules for how you make watch faces now, because they've changed the format. We're going to get into that. Well, yeah. Well, then again, I guess you're like me. You kind of sort of satisfied with the watch faces you've had on your watch that come with it. Because I kind of got sick of looking for a new one every 15 minutes. But I'd kind of like something that doesn't come with the watch, right? And I can't do that. Of course, don't forget, stick around for my disconnected thoughts, because they're getting more disconnected by the week. And the end of the show will always end up with a tech tip and Robert's final thoughts. So maybe we should get into a little bit of the tech news of the week. I thought I lost my picture for a second there. Okay, so number one, I just want to bring up, there's a lot of people complaining about Google Assistant not working properly on home devices, and various other devices that don't have Gemini, which is not very many anymore. Because actually another thing we should bring up, by the way, as a side, is the mass rollout of Gemini on Wear OS watches is completely underway. So a lot of people have it now, and most people should have it within the next few days if they don't already have it. You had it before me. Stay tuned to my rant, but you had it before me. As a little hint about what I might be talking about there. Anyways, the bottom line is not the bottom line, but yeah, exactly. You're pointing back at the flag. You're gonna get that America guy from the GIF standing in the flag in the hurricane, right? Or with the flag in the hurricane.
Yes.
I got my proud Canadian flag. We're all polite and nice here. Sorry for saying that.
Yeah, we're all about kindness.
What are you Scottish now? We're all about kindness.
About.
Yeah, you sounded Scottish when you said it. About kindness. Right now, that's okay. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Google Assistant. So Google has basically actually responded and said they are aware of the issue, and to stay tuned, there will be some upgrades or updates, I think they said. Now, obviously, what they're referring to is that some of the home devices, and they have never specified which, but I think we know which ones won't, will eventually get Gemini. I don't hold out a lot of hope. I do have a second gen Nest, the little puck looking one. I've had two, and I don't even know what I did with the first one, to be honest with you, but it was a first gen and it wouldn't have had it anyways. The second gen one I only took out because my original home, the one that looked like the air freshener, it just basically turned into a piece of garbage. It could barely work. The mic didn't work as well. I've had it for like 6 years or so, 7 years or I don't know what, maybe longer. I've had it for a long time. I used to have two. I sold one like 6 years ago, actually.
Ironically, I have one of those, and it was really bad for a while. And then here recently, it seems like the microphone and all has worked better, but it's still like I'll have to say the hello command or whatever. I don't want to say it because he's listening. And it's like a long pause. It does take a while for it to respond, but it's not as bad as it was. But I don't know. Is that going to get it? Is that going to get any updates?
Think so I believe the answer is no. I believe, first of all, it has to be a Nest. And if it's the puck thing, it has to be the second gen. I believe the first gen Nest hub is out the window. I think it has to be at least second. I think they have a third gen of those, the small size. Isn't there 3 generations of that? Or is it just two?
I know they have two. I don't think they have 3.
Well, I believe that also has to be. Now, that's only a rumor, that part. They may do the first gen because it is a Nest, but I believe they just called it Nest. The second gen was after, they'd already purchased Nest 2 years earlier and absorbed it more. How that makes any difference, I don't know, because they didn't really use a lot of the Nest technology in anything other than whatever they were using, like, smoke detectors or whatever, which, by the way, apparently at least one of them is going to the graveyard. Big surprise.
Yeah. Supposedly I want to say it's the carbon monoxide sensor. I think what
it is. It's a dual sensor, if I remember correctly. So I just don't remember what it's called. Like I said, I think it's carbon monoxide and something else. But either way, they said it's basically so.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I think they're older generation things, anyways, because they haven't really put out a new one in like 2 or 3 years, I want to say.
Yeah, I think everything I have 2 Maxes, so those will get it for sure. And I have
the Maxes are definitely getting it. The second gen hub,
I think all my small ones are second gen. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I do believe that there's rumors in both camps. Some saying that they may not, but I don't know why they wouldn't, because all of the second gen ones are newer than the second gen Nest puck thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if I'm going to get it on that. I'm not going to ever buy another one unless it comes with Gemini out of the box. That's the bottom line. I'd like the hub, but I'm also afraid that if I got it, I wouldn't even get the update unless it already had it out of the box. So I had a chance to buy one of the hubs recently, and I was like, no, I don't want another Gemini thing. Assistant thing. As much as we have literally been 2 of the people who've sung the praises of Assistant over the years, as it continued to get a little better and a little better, and then it just kind of stagnated, but it was still good. It still blew Siri out of the water for most things it could do. But it wasn't conversational like AI, right? Gemini being the least conversational of all of the AIs, and we've talked about this last week, is still conversational by leaps and bounds compared to Assistant. And the thing is, while people originally complained that Gemini didn't work very well in trying to leverage Assistant in order to do the tasks you wanted it to do, Gemini by itself, without using Assistant, does a much better job of all of those things now. And the few things that it's barely relying on Assistant to get into, and it's literally very few now, it's almost entirely moved over to doing its own thing. Those few things, it still does better than Assistant by itself. So when I tell it to turn the lights on and off, it doesn't actually have to go through Assistant anymore. And it does it instantly. If I ask Assistant to do it, it's probably 7 seconds before my lights come on, maybe 5. It's ridiculous. I asked Gemini to do it from my watch when I walk in the house and the lights are on before I finish the sentence. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have some weird stuff going on too. I'll be glad when they finally get through the whole rollout and be done with it, for sure.
Well, anyways, that's supposed to be the news brief section, and we went on way too much about it. But that's what I'm excited for the whole Gemini taking over Assistant.
Yeah.
I do want to mention this: Starlink download speeds increase. This is kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of Starlink because I'm not a big fan of certain people. This page is trying too hard to load and it's messing up my screen. So I'm going to close it and try to memorize what I read really quickly.
That's so weird how yours does that. I don't understand it.
Why it does that either, because I can record video locally while streaming something and having a conversation on another screen with somebody in video. It doesn't do that. It's only when I do this. But that's another story. Anyways, the glitch they had, you heard about this, right? The Starlink's service just completely blacked out a few days back.
Yeah, I heard something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember laughing about it because I thought, but nonetheless, there are some articles that immediately started popping out saying, see, this is the inherent problem with satellite and blah, 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 blah. This is the same inherent problem. Let's be like, I mean, come on. It's the same problem that you have with any cellular provider or any cable provider or any high-speed internet provider, fiber, whatever. If they do a software update and it doesn't go well, any number of reasons, it triggers itself. It's kind of like the electronic version of what happens to the power grid. If you try to throw too much at it at one time, it will shut itself down. In this particular case, they were actually trying to do an update. They just didn't tell anybody. And that update was massive in that they were actually now some people are not going to see this benefit right away because you have to have a certain type of the satellite receiver for it, but they can offer up to 1 gig. So there were people that were reporting they were getting 2, 3, 4, 500 megabit per second downloads and more, where it had a maximum of 150 prior to, so you would be lucky to see 140, right? So that's actually, for people who pay for it, that's really good news. For people who are subsidized through government agencies or businesses in rural areas, again, it's good news for them. So as much as I might not want to support them personally, and I don't like the man behind it, it's never a bad thing if people can be connected. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty sure that when I need to call or use SOS messaging because I'm stuck in a cave somewhere and there's nobody around, not inside the cave, but I mean in a crevice, right? Because I'm too old to climb back out and there's nobody around, but I can get a satellite signal on my phone. It's probably Starlink. It might not be, but it probably. And Rogers did launch their service, which is through Starlink, which is full texting services. And they already have said that in the future, they will also offer picture and video messaging and phone calls via satellite. Obviously for extra fees, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is it won't matter where you go anywhere in the world. And obviously it's not like they're going to be using a third-party service at that point. Not fourth-party service. So, I mean, you could be in the middle of Saudi Arabia and phoning anywhere in the world. It won't matter because you're using the Starlink service. So my dad tested it out. I was working. So by the time I saw it, I saw all the messages saying, well, I guess it didn't work. I had to keep telling them, no, Dad, it did. And it's, and I'm going to tell you this, and I researched it, and it's absolutely true. It's RCS. It supports RCS, so it's not SMS. If both parties have RCS messaging enabled through the carrier, if your carrier has Starlink service, then it will actually carry through the Starlink service as SMS. They support it fully. So,
well, yeah, that makes more sense because I mean, Starlink is. I don't think there's any cellular service associated with it. It's all satellite internet speed. So you'd almost have to use, RCS. I don't know that you could use.
Well, no, that's not true. SMS. That's not true. The SMS messaging or emergency messaging, like, having to dial 9, what am I not dial, but you know what I mean. The one that every Pixel owner has, and every iPhone has, that you can't actually text somebody, but I can text 911 basically. That one is purely SMS. There's no RCS whatsoever. So it does use the SMS protocol. It doesn't have to go through traditional phone lines to do that.
Well, no, I didn't say traditional phone lines, but cellular and satellite are two different technologies. I didn't say phone
absolutely,
lines.
but SMS actually technically doesn't have anything to do with cellular. It's just a protocol that goes over the radio wave, no matter what you attach it to. It just happened to be that it was attached to whatever you call it, cellular. Some of the first texting applications, and I don't mean MSN Messenger or Yahoo Messenger, but some of the first texting applications other than those actually used SMS. And at one point, there were a number of SMS applications you could get on Android, and they used actual SMS. They didn't use the messaging protocol that most of these guys use now.
So that is incorrect because
correct.
Standard SMS does not use internet protocol. It is transmitted over the cellular network signals. It's not using internet.
But did you hear what I said though? Of course it doesn't. That's the way it was definitely as we speak right now. But
right.
It can be transmitted. It doesn't have to be.
I think that's wrong. I think that's incorrect. I think the protocol is not supported on IP based connectivity.
Well, okay, then I'll be wrong. It doesn't really matter in this case.
Of course, SMS is going to be gone anyways. I don't see SMS lasting much longer.
It can't last. It's too old. It's insecure, and it's slow, dumb, stupid. I mean, it would be like if somebody still had dial-up internet. Where's my laugh track? Damn it, I don't have it ready. Oh, shoot. Oh.
Look, speaking of that, I had a conversation with my coworker, and we were talking about internet. I forget what we're doing, and I said, "Oh yeah, it's just like," I made the whole dial-up sound, and he goes, "Huh? Is that what it sounded like?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Is that what that dial-up stuff sounded like?" I'm like, "Dial-up stuff." Keep in mind, he's 23 years old. And he's never had anything except like Comcast. He's never had dial-up. He doesn't even know what it's like. He's like, "Was it really bad?" I'm like, "Dude, like I got so excited when I connected at 56K, and half the time it would drop down to 28.8 because it's just garbage." I was like, it was terrible.
28.
We were talking about burning CDs today too. He's like, "Huh." He goes, "You want to know something funny?" He's like, "I've never burned a CD." I was like, "You want to know something funny?" Because I said, "I haven't burned a CD since before you were born." Like it's been probably 25 years.
It's not surprising that a 21-year-old or whatever hasn't burned a CD.
But it's just like, it just made me feel so old. I'm like, gosh, man, it's crazy.
When did I last burn a CD? Oh my.
You remember you used to walk into Best Buy and it was like just like racks of CDRW and CDRs and plus minus.
One like this. Do I want the plus or the plus minus or what is?
Right.
What's the difference?
It always confused
Should I
me.
get
don't
that
know.
new Panasonic one that's proprietary? It's not proprietary, sir.
Or
Are you
does it
sure? I
sound
saw
like
a commercial.
Memorex?
Yeah. I read Memorex commercials, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they're cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Dynamic cassette tapes that had
Cassette.
Dolby metal something or other.
Yeah, yeah. Too
Oh, the
funny.
good old days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Crazy.
all right. Yeah, what are we moving on to? Should we move on to our more main topic? And
Yeah.
let's discuss.
Yeah, well, you talked about, did you say, you mentioned Facer. Did you want to say anything in
Oh,
detail
good
about
Lord, I
Facer?
completely forgot. Yeah. Okay, so Facer, and for those who are not aware, and I can't imagine how you're not, they've been around for a long time. But for those who aren't, Facer is a company that offers watch faces for multiple styles of watches. They offer watch faces for Wear OS, watch faces for, is it Tizen or Tizen?
Tizen.
Tizen. Okay, Tizen. So
that's not even a thing
still
anymore.
No, but people. So there's still some people who have a Tizen watch.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Smart watches, in my opinion, are something you keep for 2, maybe 3 years. I mean, let's not even get into that. Anyways, bottom line is they have thousands, literally tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of watch faces. Don't get me wrong. That's kind of like saying I have 298 channels on cable. 79 of them are music channels. 18 of them are repeats of another 18. The network channels are all time shifted, so it's the same shit anyways. And then there's a bunch of Telemundo or whatever it's called.
Well, but you're not mentioning
Spanish, you don't understand it.
You're not mentioning the main point of Facer and the whole like real appealing side of Facer is that you can build your own.
I didn't get to that. I wasn't there yet. Give me a moment. The whole point is not just build your own. You can manipulate any watch face that you purchase. Now, of course, if you purchase a membership, then you get access to anywhere from a few to all of the watch faces, with the small exception of a few premium ones that you do have to purchase separately. But that's very few if you actually pay the monthly fee. And it's not super expensive, or is it yearly? I think you pay it by the year.
I don't know. I haven't messed with it in so long. It's not super
expensive, and you get hundreds of thousands of watch faces, and you can take one and go, I like this, and in some cases, very few things can be manipulated, like the color of the dial, add or subtract a couple of complications. Complications, by the way, how do I demonstrate this? Is there a way for me to do this? These buttons that I can tap on and make it. Oh, it's not going to work now. There we go. That was a complication. I don't know why they call it a complication, because it actually isn't complicated. It's actually very good too. But that's what those are. And you can add or subtract them, right? In some of them are extremely easy to do. And like Robert said, if you want to take the time to learn how to do it, you can from scratch make your very own, and they have all the tools to do it. And if you're good at it, you can do that and even publish it and even sell it. So when Wear OS 5 came along, they said, oh, guess what? We're not going to support the old style of watch face. I can't remember what the new style is called. So I was going to ask Rock, but I haven't changed that one yet. I don't think it's appropriate. What is the name of the watch face type that Google has implemented in Wear OS 5 that you have to use in order to be able to sell it on the Play Store?
Bishop. Google has implemented the watch face format in Wear OS 5, and it is required for all new watch faces published on the Play Store as of early 2025.
You know what? I missed what the hell he said, because he called me Bishop. Watch face format. It's just called watch face format. I'm not sure what it was called prior to that, but it's called watch face format. So the bottom line is that since they did that, hundreds of thousands of watch faces on Facer, as well as I can't remember the name. There was another one that I used to pay for. I didn't pay for Facer. I paid for.
Yeah, there's another one that's real popular too, just like it. I can't remember the name of it either.
Yeah, and I used it religiously for a while, and of course I got, my Pixel Watch and immediately realized I can only change a few watch faces, and then inevitably Wear OS 5 came out, and nope, done. That's it. And I can verify that most of the complications stop working immediately. You can actually download and install the watch faces. It's just most of the complications won't work properly. Very few of them will. So, and you can't manipulate them. Well, you can, but when you put it on your watch, it won't work right. So they had to get hundreds, if not thousands, of developers to adopt and to basically port all of these watch faces over, and most of them won't. But they, of course, it's Google, and they've got new tools that allow people to make the change. And knowing Google, it's probably something that works somehow in what is it called, Kotlin?
I don't know what that is.
What? I'm talking about their coding software that you can import any other kind of code into and use that in just a couple of lines. It will change it to what you need.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the name of it is. That's what I'm saying.
Kotlin.
Okay.
But I don't know if they use that for Wear OS stuff. I'm just saying, knowing Google, they probably implemented something to do it.
Yeah, but watch faces nowadays, I mean, there's manufacturers, just like ROMs, just like how the interface of the phone has evolved into like something that is just awesome right out of the box. My watch face is awesome right out of the box. I found one that does everything I need. I have zero reason to change and install that, especially pay for a subscription. I mean, that's crazy.
And there's a small bit of manipulation you can do to the ones that you get right out of your watch anyways. So I've done that with mine. I've changed a couple of colors. I've activated a couple of complications and moved a couple of out. And I like it the way it is. But that said, sometimes on Halloween, I want a Halloween themed watch face for the night. At Christmas, for about a week, I like to have Christmas themed watch faces, things like that. It's fun and I like it. Having an animated Mickey Mouse, I'm not sure I'm crazy about, but some people would want that. You can't get that on any Samsung watch, and you can't get it on any. You can get it on a whatever you call it, the fruit company.
I don't know. Samsung has they have a huge selection of watch faces. I don't know if there's anything way like more Mickey
than
Mouse.
Pixel, I tell you that much. Way more than Pixel, but I guarantee you they don't have an authentic looking Mickey Mouse one.
Yeah, probably.
I think Apple's the only one that does. However, going to Facer or whatever that other one is called that I feel embarrassed I can't remember the name of, that you can get a Mickey Mouse, very authentic looking Mickey Mouse watch with the hand going up and everything. So
yeah,
it's pretty nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm curious now though. I want to know what the name of that is because I used it too.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I probably still have the app on my phone. I just wouldn't have opened it in a long time. So I'm
Wear OS watch faces.
Oh my God, I don't have it. I had it on my previous phone and I've deleted it entirely off of this one because I've never used it with this watch. I think the name Wear is actually in it, to be honest with you. While you're looking at that, I'm going to bring up one other watch bit of news. If anybody remembers the original smartwatch king, that was the Pebble watch. Pebble watch, the real fans of Pebble, they absolutely loved it. And I don't know if it was ahead of its time because I think it was just like at its time.
Watchmaker,
yes. And I do prefer Watchmaker personally. So If anybody from Watchmaker is watching, I endorse you if you want me to.
Even though we just got through saying that we don't use watch faces anymore.
I said I want to.
Okay, well, there you go.
Anyways, and I have glowing reviews too, especially with the new watch faces. Apparently, they're going to be able to do a lot more. They're more robust and so on. But anyways, Pebble is coming back, and okay, there's a little bit of a backstory. I can't remember who bought who. I think I have to look that up. Maybe you can check that out for me. Whoever bought Pebble was then purchased by Google, or Google purchased another company and then purchased Pebble. I don't remember exactly how it worked. Oh no, they were purchased by Fitbit, and then Google bought Fitbit. I think that's how it worked. I believe that's it. You can correct me if you find other information that proves me wrong. The bottom line is I'm not sure what exactly it was Fitbit wanted with Pebble in the first place. Perhaps they had some kind of proprietary something or other that they had a patent for, and Fitbit wanted that. Of course, that's exactly what Google wanted, but more importantly, Google wanted the actual smartwatch market, and they knew they could get more people on board if they owned, at the time, was the best-selling smartwatch in the world, was the Fitbit, which was really
Fitbit.
Yeah. There you go. Which, of course, at the time were really nothing more than trackers, and the two slightly bigger watch-looking trackers were still technically trackers that had a watch face on them, and you could change them and stuff. Google is kind of whittled that out, and they still have Fitbit, but very few. I think they only have 4 models now, whereas there used to be like 11 or 12 Fitbit models.
Yeah, there was a crazy amount. My wife had a Fitbit for a while.
Like them either, because it turns out the Pixel Watch does a better job and is an actual watch, an actual smartwatch. So it does a better job anyways. But some people just want that. And also you can get them for a lot less money than a Pixel Watch. So if that's all you want, then I highly recommend a Fitbit for that. I think it's better to pay $140 for a Fitbit, for instance, than it is to pay $68 on Temu or something for or $40 or whatever for some kind of smartwatch fitness tracking thing on Amazon, third-party seller store. Get something that's going to work, and it's going to work. But anyways, the bottom line is Pebble is what did they do? When Fitbit purchased it, and then Google purchased Fitbit, they had, I can't remember exactly how this is worded, but they had the rights to the name or something like that. Whatever it was, I think either a patent.
Do you want me to read this right here? Because I went to Pebble's website, which, by the way, their website is called repebble.com.
Repebble.com. Nice.
But it says that Google, obviously, which bought Fitbit, which had bought Pebble, still owns the Pebble OS. And it says over the last year, a team inside Google, including some amazing ex-Pebblers turned Googlers, have been working on open sourcing the OS. The source code for Pebble OS is now available on GitHub. And they said, thank you so much for Google. I can't stress how thankful I am to the individuals who did the heavy lifting. This was made possible by the Rebel team and community. We have supported Pebble since it's shut down. So, yeah, so they're making new watches, but I don't see...
I believe here's an announcement that they actually have me. Okay, so I thought this was just an announcement that they were basically, I figured maybe they had like an alpha beta, something going on. I wasn't expecting anything anytime soon.
But yeah, so here, let me share this and so you can see. This is the This is the new Pebble.
Okay.
I think it's ugly as hell.
It is, but here's the thing. Well, scroll back up so we can look at it.
There's only two of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Stay there so I can see it.
Yes, sir.
Core 2 Duo. Wait a minute. Hang on a second. No, wait. No. They weren't allowed to use the Pebble name. They are. This is not the new one. This is not the one we're talking about. Hang on. This is not it because they're not using the Core 2 Duo name. That's the name they had to use because they couldn't use Pebble. The new one does not use that name. They get to use the Pebble name. I don't know if they purchased the right to.
This is the website, and when you click I want one, it goes straight to there.
That's because that's current. The new one isn't out yet. This is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I mean, unless they lied in the other app, I mean, maybe I got some bad fish. I mean, information. But from what I understood, that was the old name of it, and they were going to be able to use the Pebble name. That's why the whole point of Pebble is coming back.
Well, no, because this says right here, start shipping in July of 2025.
Yeah,
and
I get
Core Time 2 doesn't start shipping till December 2025. So that's the new one.
Yeah, right. If you're a fan of the Pebble watch and for some reason you want that ugly monstrosity, I don't think you're going to care if it's called a Pebble or a Core 2 Duo. You're just going to call it a Pebble anyways. And you're going to brag to your friends that you have a Pebble for some reason. Now, will it be?
I don't know what bragging rights that gives you.
Probably, but I mean, to me, it looks like an e-ink, display. I mean,
yeah, it's
and it probably is, which is famous for its.
The thing is that one that has color is $225.
Yeah, $225. If that thing doesn't drive me to the grocery store and drop me off at the brothel, I'm kidding.
There's a lot of watches you could buy for $225. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Some people, I guess, the
I won't
nostalgia.
Be testing one. Although I will say this, Pebble or whatever your name is, if you send us one,
we will test.
We'll test it, and we'll probably give it back without problem. But that's another story. For some reason, See Assistant is on my TV. If it was Gemini, it wouldn't have interrupted my TV. But that's another story. We'll get into that another time again. So that's for that. So let's there. Oh, wait, you know what? There was the other thing too. The Pixel 10, the QI2 or Qi 2 or whatever you want to call it, because there is debates on how you say this. There are conflicting reports of whether it will be QI2 ready or actually have the magnets built in, just like an iPhone, MagSafe type style. However, there's camps on both sides saying that they have their reasons for believing and why, and some of the leaks. The main reason I believe it to be true that they will have the magnets, well, two reasons. One, Google was a huge proponent of it, and also helped in its development in the first place. So Google wants this. Why the hell would they stand aside and watch other manufacturers do it? And
why the hell is it taking so long? That's my question. They should have had this out years ago.
Well, of course. I mean, Apple's had it for what, 3 years or something like that? 4 years, whatever it's been. 3 years. I can't remember when it started. But if anybody doesn't understand this, a lot of people think, oh, well, they finally did it. They finally were able to do something without, and they can copy Apple. And they didn't copy Apple. Apple took advantage of the damn technology the second it was available. Yeah. Why no one else did is completely beyond me. Apple did not make it. They didn't invent it. They simply did what they do best. They marketed it, as they always do. That's the one thing they do brilliantly, is marketing, usually. And, MagSafe, and that's not the first time they used MagSafe. Isn't that what they used to call their
it still is called
electrical
MagSafe.
Cord? No, but I mean,
no, that's a Lightning.
Not that. The magnetic cord that they used to plug into the old.
I have no idea. I've never had a
iMacs.
Mac. Never had a Mac, so I have no idea.
Yeah, it was a magnetic cord, and when you plugged it in, it just
Yeah, I know what you're talking
magnetically.
about, but
So if you
I have
tripped
no idea what
over
the
it,
name
it just
was.
came out and didn't break.
Yeah.
I think they called that MagSafe in the first place. So it's just old.
I mean, they
marketing.
might
just
because it's kind of the whole.
regurgitated it.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole same
Yeah.
principle, just different application.
And by the way, if I'm wrong, leave a negative comment down there and like and subscribe. Don't dislike. Leave a negative comment, but like it. All right, that was a thumbnail. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Anyways, all right. So,
yeah, they should have done that. They should have done magnets a
you?
long time ago.
Yeah, I was going to say how important is it to you to have it, but you've basically been using a bastardized version of it for a while now, anyways. Because you were using the magnetic cases on your phone for some time now, have you not?
Yeah, but like for example, I have been, and it's worked for the most part pretty well. But the problem is, I don't think you get quite the same quality induction when you're using the case as a magnet as opposed to the magnet being in the phone and the case just
not.
being over it. But like for example, on the S25 Ultra, because I have how they have this camera bump right here, the ring is so high, you can't use some of the actual MagSafe adapters because it interferes with the bump, so it doesn't sit flat.
That's poor design choice, admittedly, but I think that one of the biggest problems is they did that because they weren't thinking straight.
Well, they could have lowered the charging ring down.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, yeah, had they thought about it ahead of time, they could have made the charging ring a little bit lower, and then you're not going to interfere with the bump.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm thinking magnets. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, but they should have made it fully QI2 instead 100%. Of QI2 ready.
And Samsung could have done it, even though Google didn't do it.
Well, yeah, but your previous phone, you did use again the magnetic case with no QI2 stuff, right?
Yes, I use magnetic cases when I use Pixels.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I still haven't done that. And now I had honestly thought I'm going to upgrade to do that. But at this point, I'm not going to. And there's a reason why. Because why would I do it with this phone when in a month's time, I'm going to be rocking a new one? And it will at least be QI2 ready, but I believe we'll actually have it. So for me, I think it's extremely important because there's so many different reasons. Now, I don't have a car right now, but when I had a car, it would have been so much easier for me just get in the car, patoon. There it is, and it's charging.
Oh yeah,
and it's secure.
100%.
And I come back, and if I'm sitting at the desk here and I want to do the podcast or anything else, patoon, there it is, right there. Instead of having to reach over and put it down here every time. And I prefer that idea, right? And at night on the nightstand, patoon, there it is. And the other thing, too, is if everything follows a standard, then third-party accessories will become more popular because what I charge with is going to be exactly the same as what you charge with. So
well, and here's a benefit is that
you get a less expensive one that it doesn't matter which phone you have, right? So
a benefit is Apple's MagSafe power sources, attachments, whatever, they will work on any MagSafe compatible case. So,
right,
if you do have if you did switch from iPhone, say, to Android, or you had a, split household like a lot of people do, and you could still use all the same, magnet based charging equipment.
Keep in mind that if you buy an Apple MagSafe product for charging, that is very unlikely you will get the maximum 25-watt charging speed wirelessly in the MagSafe thing, because the only phone that can do that currently before the next release is the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max. And technically they're not technically rated for that. I don't know. I can't remember. I asked Gemini to explain it, and I forgot how it went. But there is some kind of proprietary workaround that they have in a protocol that kind of overrides the QI2 thing.
Yeah, supposedly Samsung is boosting their charging capability in the S26.
Yeah. You mean they're wired or wireless?
I thought I read both. I thought I read that they were...
I don't know how far I can go in wireless because... Oh, wait, no. QI 2.2 is the one that does 25 watts, and that's what Google is apparently going for in the 10, which is why instead of being 15, it's going to be 25 watts. So it's going to be... While the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max are technically the first that actually support it, again, there's kind of a weird software thing that... I don't know. Apple does things differently, but apparently it does support it. But apparently they didn't have anything that they could plug or attach it to that would do it. Whereas Google is apparently going to offer a range of products. And what did they call? Oh, God, I can't remember the name of it. It's a little clever little name for their products because they're obviously not going to use MagSafe, but I can't remember what it's. Clip something or other. Or Snap. Pixel Snap, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, and now that, of course, we don't know for a fact it's going to be called Pixel Snap. That's what we're being told by the rumors and leaks. So it won't shock me if it is, because usually these leaks and rumors are pretty damn accurate, especially this close to launch. So the Pixel Snap is pretty neat. So that means Google, instead of releasing these crappy little cases like they have been, they're going to release, QI2 cases. As well as some other accessories. And you can already find legitimate and illegitimate Pixel 10 series cases on Amazon already. Not from the reputable marketers like Spigen, or as you like to call it, Spigen. I'm going back to that. It's been a year, but I'm still going to go on that. Anyway, Spigen does not actually even talk about or tease it until about roughly a week before. And you won't see it until at least a few days before. And often you can't even buy it until a couple of days before. But generally every year I purchase the case so it's delivered before I get the phone. So it's ready to go immediately. And yes, although everybody talks about how it's going to look exactly the same, blah, 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 somebody has actually got their hands on a prototype case and has been able to confirm already that there's going to be slight differences in where the microphone is. Most stuff.
It's supposed to be, I read thinner, lighter, bigger screen, so there's definitely gonna be some dimensional changes to it for sure.
Well, the phone's supposed to be thicker and heavier, actually.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking the S26. Because I was reading.
Oh yeah, yours, yeah, thinner, lighter, yeah, absolutely. Whereas the Pixel,
and it, I confirmed.
Because quite frankly, this is a thin phone. It's not super thin, but it's not like it's like this. Like this is not something you sail down the river on. If they add 1.5 millimeters to this, you think I'm going to care? No. Oh, why? Why would I? I'm going to enjoy the fact that it's got a bigger battery. It lasts longer because of the OS, because of the, various other tweaks that they have to the system. And I'm sure you will too. You probably will. I mean, I know you've said you're not sure if you're going to get the next one, but I think the upgrades that they're going to have in it might be enough for you to.
Well, like I told you off podcast, that if everything is rumored to be the way they're saying or close to, then I probably will, because there are some significant changes. And I have confirmed that Samsung has confirmed that the wired charging, this doesn't mean anything about wireless, so I don't know. I can't speak on that, but 60 watts.
It'll be 60. Well, that's nice. Okay. Yeah. So that's legitimate fast charge now. At that point, you're looking at 45 minutes or something like that for a full charge or whatever.
Yeah.
50 minutes, whatever. Well, probably 45. And I'm gonna say this 1,000 times. The 30-something watt charging that Pixel 9 Pro XL has, this is not terrible. I've had like 5% plugged it in, taken a shower, come back, it's at 68%. I have something to eat and I get ready to go, in an hour and 15 minutes later, it's like 97%. And I'm like, okay, I can leave now. I'm going to go out for a few hours. I've already had the phone on all day. And the only reason why I'd be at 3% is because I didn't charge it last night. Right? I've had that happen before. So to me, an hour and 40 minutes, not 40 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes to charge from 30 to 100, that's nothing. And that's only because it slows down to preserve the battery. As for the 60 watts, I guarantee you it's not going to charge full speed. You plug it in at say 10%, because if you plug it in at 0, it's always going to be a minute before you can even turn it on. You plug it in at 10% and it's going to go blazing fast. Take a minute before it starts to really speed up, but it will. And you'll be, 10 minutes later, you'll be at like 45%. 10 minutes after that, you'll be at like 70%. You'll be like, God damn, this is fast. And then you come back 15 minutes later and it'll be like, it's at 88%. It's not bad. Then you come back 10 minutes after that and it'll be at 93%. You'll be like, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? That's because it slows down to preserve the battery. Because if it charged all the way to 100% at 100% power, it would absolutely 100% start a fire in your house. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because that's how lithium batteries work. You cannot charge them all the way max at full power. They will blow up.
I'll be glad when someone actually comes out with an alternative battery source that's actually will work and
not
be
blow up.
Higher density where you
solid
get
state
bigger
batteries, baby. Yeah, solid state batteries. Unfortunately, they cost way too much money.
But that's my point. They don't. It's not a mainstream thing.
Not yet. It will be, but there are alternative to it, and rumors have it Samsung may be leaning towards that new. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's kind of almost like having a hybrid. It's like half solid state and half lithium ion. I don't know how to explain it. Really don't. I only partially understand the technology, but it does give a higher density. But the problem with the batteries is that they die off quicker. Not that you lose power faster. They last longer technically because they have higher density at a lighter weight. So you can have more and it gives you more juice. But the problem is if you lose 20 to 25% of your battery capacity in a year, and you'd like to keep your phones for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, some people, with a lithium ion battery, after 1 year, I'm losing somewhere between 10 and 20 something percent, depending on how much I've used and charged. After 2 years, I've got about 70% of my battery. After 3 years, I've got about 65%. People understand, why is my battery dying? What a piece of shit. You've had your phone for 4 years. That's why. Do you ever wonder why your car battery keeps dying and you've had the same battery in it for 10 years? That's why. It's not a lithium battery, but it's still going to lose because differences in lead acid battery crystallizes and it loses ability to hold a charge. So it's basically the same idea with a lithium, right? So there you go. Samsung's, again, that's a rumor. We don't know that. They may not do it because it's too expensive. And it also means that after the first year of owning the phone, if they do go with that new style of battery, you probably will lose 30 to 35% of your battery capacity. It's not going to be worth it for a lot of people to spend, $1,200 or something like that, after taxes for a phone that, because of the battery, once the news gets out like that, will be next to worthless. Can you imagine if iPhones were using that type of battery?
Well, I don't know about worthless, but yeah, it's.
Well, no, I don't mean that literally.
I don't mean that
literally.
Hope that somebody
right now,
if
you tried to sell your S25, you would get a pretty good buck for it. I know you take good care of your stuff, and you'd probably get a pretty good penny for it. Right? I could sell my Pixel 9 Pro XL right now. Somebody would give me $200 for it if I was lucky. 150 probably. No word of a lie, but you could probably get $400 or $500 for your phone. An iPhone built the same year, for some reason, there's people that'll go to Craigslist or whatever and pay somebody at a bus stop $800 for a 3-year-old iPhone. It makes no sense to me.
At a bus stop. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, maybe one day.
What, you gonna get an iPhone?
No, I'm talking about one day I'll have a battery solution that's,
Well, there you go. You
practical.
can be the guru, the god, the guy. But we never did get into the AI stuff. What happened? What happened?
It's not in our.
It's not in the cards. It's not in the AI. It is too. I just didn't write it down properly. But that's neither here nor there. It was a rough week, I told you. But we got a few minutes, so we might as well at least have a quick discussion about it. Basically, the AI stuff, you cut me off. I remember we started talking about it. And you said, oh, no, we have to talk about this instead.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'll be your scapegoat.
Well, that's what happened. Go back and watch the video. That's what happened. Okay. Anyways. Okay. So if you're watching some of these VO, I mean, you and I both, we can spot these things a mile away because we play with it enough. You can see it. And in a lot of cases, they're very, very real. And it's still amazing. And I still love making the videos just for fun. But they are getting more and more realistic. And a news anchor actually decided to do an experiment from something she did years ago. She had AI recreate almost the same thing. And of course, she was able to point out the flaws, like the text that came up on the screen from the ticker from the news program is gibberish compared to real life, right? But the words, although not her voice, were pretty much was identical because she actually told it what to say. But the inflections were almost the same. And then she played the actual video that she got the inspiration of it of her from years earlier, doing the actual newscast live out in the street at the same time. And they were just neck and neck with it. And the only real problems were, of course, that text and a few other little things that, would in the background that seemed slightly off. Not nearly as off as my Kraken video attempts, but apparently Google has no idea what a Kraken looks like. But that's neither here nor there either. It can be scary for some people. I think it's cool because I don't think we're anywhere near the point yet where we have to worry that we're going to think it's grandma and, FaceTiming us or whatever the hell you want to call it, because I don't use Apple products. But, like I'm not going to mistake, girlfriend for AI or vice versa. I said that backwards. You're probably not going to, think it's your wife when it's really AI, or she would kill you.
Well, the part of the problem is that despite like words, because it still has a problem with words, which I don't really understand that should be like the easiest part, honestly.
Yeah, it should.
But it's like the movements, sometimes the movements get repetitive, like they'll like,
that's true. Yeah.
They'll kind of do the same thing just over and over.
Not always. Sometimes one of the biggest things about how great it is how realistic the movements can be. Especially
it's getting better.
Literally just doing the 8 seconds. I did that one with me, of course, not my voice, and my face kind of changes a little bit as he's talking, so it kind of looks like me, but yet if you know me really well, you can that's not really him. But if you didn't know me, you wouldn't know. You would have thought that was me. And that's the one where I showed from when I was younger and nice and thin. And the guys and the way the arm movement and everything and how the jacket, the AI recognized that it was faux leather. How the hell did it know it was faux leather? Because it crinkles differently than real leather, but it figured it out. Probably, I don't know. Maybe it actually goes and it takes a look at the clothing and references this particular jacket from something online and then can see that it's faux leather. That's the only thing I can come up with, because otherwise how would it know? Because it actually looked and to be honest with you, felt like real leather. But I can guarantee you, at only $42, it was faux leather.
$42.
$42. Now, admittedly, that was 11, 12, 13 years ago, I think. So at $42 would have been about 80 now. But an $80 leather jacket is not exactly screaming quality. I'm going to say that right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely getting better. And, people just get all up in arms at it. I think AI is something that people should, use. I mean, there's a lot of benefit to it, like a lot of actual real life benefit to creating shopping lists and, helping with, organized finances. And I mean, there's a lot of very practical uses. It can crunch things much faster than a human could ever crunch.
But I'm actually talking specifically about the AI video making and people being, worried about.
Right, I know. I'm just saying that it should be used all the way around, and have fun with it.
And I agree. But if you're going to go down that road, then because we did mention the whole watch and the AI and everything, and sorry, not AI, yes, but Gemini. Since you got the Gemini on your watch, have you been using it at all?
I use it occasionally. Yeah, I mean I use it occasionally. Well, I mean it's stuff like sending a text message or
that was easy
asking
more accurate now.
It's way more accurate, and asking questions about what is this, what about that, or how just it's really not anything groundbreaking. And Gemini definitely responds way faster, and it's way more accurate in every aspect. It's like on my phone on the way home, like today, I can bring hold my power button and bring Gemini up, and I said, hey, call Rock and Dough Pizza in Gallatin. I would never trust Assistant to do that.
No, absolutely not.
Gemini gets it right perfect every single time and makes the phone call.
I want to see how well, if it can do this for my watch. Hang on one second. Call Robert Warren. Oh, it's actually phoning. It's phoning on my watch. Last time I did that, it didn't work properly. There you go. I hung up on him. Here's the thing. I think that's really cool. And by the way, I don't have an LTE watch, so I can't do that unless I'm with my phone. The next one I'm going to get, I am going to get the LTE watch because I quite frankly, there's been a ton of times where I've been like, I just want to be out in the backyard and I don't feel like I need to take the phone with me. For various reasons. I'm doing yard work. I don't really want it with me. There's even times at work where I would rather leave the damn thing in the locker because of the nature of the work I'm doing. I really don't feel like I need it with me, but I've got this and I can still use it, right? I don't know. I want the LTE. I go swimming. I keep the watch on. I can take this with me. I did do that and shot a video a couple of years ago in the water, jumped off a boat with that, and I had the watch on, and I forgot I was wearing the watch, to be honest with you. But then again, I mean, there's almost no smartwatch you can buy now that isn't a minimum of, 3 atmospheres minimum? Most of them are 4 or 5 atmospheres for depth, which, by the way, just means that it's way more waterproof than your phone. Way more. Because you can basically be down deeper than you would want to go without scuba gear. It's not a diving watch. Don't go scuba diving with it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go deeper than 3 or 5 or 8 meters, and then you're going to be sorry.
Yes.
Because these things cost in Canada, these are like $400 or $500, $600 after taxes. They're expensive.
Yeah. The new Samsung watches are just too expensive. I thought about buying one, but I couldn't get the same deal that I got on the current watch. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. There's no need.
Yeah, well, like I said, I made the same decision this year, or last year rather, and it's like, oh, the 3 looks better. I think I'd like to get it, and I'd also like to get the bigger one. But I don't see enough of a benefit for the small price increase that they had. It was a very small price increase. It was only like $10 more than the previous one. But I was like, okay, it's more expensive. I got the first one for free. I have to pay for the second one. I don't want the third one.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that thought process went. Fourth one, I'm getting 100%. Bigger battery. There's a whole bunch of new technology out of it. It's going to have Wear OS 6 out of the box. 100% I'm getting it. So you might not want this one, but next year you probably will, because at that point your watch is going to be, in my opinion, once a watch is 2 years old, it's dog tooth old.
I don't know about that, but
I said my opinion.
Used to be that way, but I think you can get easy, 3 years.
Well, you're still gonna get software updates. So for those who do want to keep their watch for 3 or 4 years, it's not a big deal. It'll still do what you need it to do for 3 or 4 years. Absolutely. And as for people saying, oh, but the battery's going to be, it's not like your phone. You don't sit on the bus like this for 3 hours and it's sitting on, like kids aren't walking down the street going like this, right? It's not a phone. So you can do more and more with it, but 90% of the time, 98% of the time, it's down here. And probably an ambient mode or the screen off, because a lot of people have the screen go off completely when they're not looking at it. Save a lot of battery. All right. Even in ambient mode still saves a lot of battery when you don't have it on. Have ambient light display, whatever they call it, so that the screen is not full brightness all the time. Saves a lot of battery.
Yeah. I use that on the watch. I don't use that on the phone.
Yeah, I don't use it on the phone either. But here's the big kicker. I don't care whether you have the tiniest battery in your watch or the largest battery in your watch. They're minuscule compared to phones. So you plug it in and you're like, well, it's not a super fast charge. But if it's at 30% and you go take a shower, it's 100% when you get out of the shower. It's a watch. It doesn't take much to 100%. So if you have to charge it every night, so what? Not even every night, because a lot of people I wear my watch because I do want my tracking for a number of reasons. I've had problems sleeping, so seeing my sleep patterns helps me determine if I need to take a nap on the weekend, or if I need to take a nap when I get home from work, or if I need to go to bed earlier, or sleep in an extra half an hour and take an Uber to work or something. I'll do whatever I need to do to try to get that sleep back up, because during the week I have a hard time with it. And so that the watch does help me with that. So I take it off and I charge it when I take a shower in the morning before I go to work. Sometimes I will forget, but sometimes I'll remember and I'll charge the watch for half an hour or something before I go to sleep. So it's 100%. So when I wake up in the morning, it's still at 70 or 80 or 90% or whatever, depending on how much I tossed and turned, or if I had a good night's sleep, I only lose about 10 or 12% of the battery. And then I toss it on the charger, take a shower, come back, it's 100%, and it's good for the whole day. This watch will easily last me 2 days if I let it. And I've done it more than once, where I put it on in the morning off the charger, having forgotten to wear it at night. I get all the way through the next night, still wearing it. I take it off to take a shower. I don't even bother putting it on the damn charger, which I don't know why I wouldn't. And I get all the way through work and get home, and it's still at 30%. So I wear it at night again. It's down to 5% when I get up in the morning, but that's 48 complete freaking hours. It doesn't advertise 48 hours, but it can do it.
Well, yeah. Everybody's usage is a little different. So you're able to squeak it out. Not a lot of people can't.
Well, no, I agree. But then again, a lot of people do a lot more with the watch. If you're using it to stream your music and stuff all the time and Bluetoothing it to your headphones, and you're doing all your conversations on your LTE watch again through your headphones, you're going to use a lot more battery power than me just checking my blood pressure. I mean, my heart rate once in a while.
Well, yeah. And when batteries get real low, things just tend to just shut off automatically.
Not in this. Oh, you mean individual applications that aren't necessary. I think you meant the entire watch.
Well, it can the entire watch if it gets low enough and it goes down to 0. It'll just shut off and it'll stop broadcasting.
Yeah, of course. The Pixel Watch gives me a warning at about 15%. That's where I have it set, and then it goes into, extreme power saver, where the screen is off unless I'm looking at it, and I can't even twist. I have to actually tap it to turn it on. I did that on purpose, though, to give it the extra time in case I was actually completely away from the house and I needed it to last me another 7 hours. Right. That way I can at least tell the time without having to pull my phone out.
Yeah, because you don't want it to just stop broadcasting in the middle of your video podcast.
Speaking of which, we don't know if my camera is going to die. And
that was my point. I've been sitting here dropping hints like for the last 5 minutes. You go, oh yeah, no, my one.
Say something with dropping hints. This is what I'm talking about. If we were cartoon characters, I'm not sure which one I'd be.
Okay,
but you would be
okay, I'm going to say something. Just move on, because if your phone dies, then you're not going to be able to do anything else, and we're going to have to end the podcast immediately because you didn't charge your phone.
Well, we probably will be ending it very soon. So, having said that, why don't you be? You know what? Never mind. I'm going to get on with this. I'm going to tell you all now that I do have my disconnected thought this week, and my disconnected thought is disconnected seriously, because I'm sick and tired of I'm going back to Google. I want to know why Canada doesn't get stuff that everyone else gets. And when I say everyone else, I mean the United States of America. I have no problem with the US of A, at least the non-political part of it. But I am sick to death of constantly reading about this AI mode mumbo jumbo. And then I hear the news. Oh, it's coming to, what was it? India, Japan? I can't remember. Someplace out east. And then I'm like, okay, all right, I get it. All right. They're probably going to give it to Australia. Well, I don't think they have. But I read the news today. AI mode is coming to the UK. It's launching now. People can log in or go to whatever, Google, and see their AI mode stuff and experiment with it. I'm in Canada, and I still can't do that. We are right next door. Do you understand me? Right next fucking door. Okay? So give me my... Who beeped the wrong word? Give me my motherfucking... I want my AI mode. Okay. That was my rant.
You beeping the wrong words. Nice.
Hey, I got to be my own editor. What do you want me to do? Let's go.
That's right. All right. Well, here we go.
And now, Robert's Tech Tip of the Week.
My tech tip of the week is something that's super simple. People don't think about it. People don't even, I think, know it exists. And it's dark mode. You know, pretty much every computer in existence now, you can almost do everything in dark mode, which basically takes the bright contrast and glary white background of a web page away, makes it you could do grayish color, you can do a pitch black color, and then the writing is white, and it just makes it a lot less, intrusive to your eyeballs. Well, you can do that with your phones too. And it really, really, trust me, it makes all the difference in the world. And it also helps save battery because it does not take power on an OLED screen to power a black pixel. It does a white pixel because it's got to illuminate that particular, I don't know what they call it, diode or whatever it is in the OLED. And that takes power. So when your screen's bright white, it's going to take more battery than if it's a darker color. Anyways, so just think about that. And it's going to be less intrusive to people around you. Also, just think if you're like laying in bed and your wife's trying to sleep and your phone is like the sun, it's going to be intrusive. So that's my tech tip. Use dark mode. Trust me, your eyes will thank you. It's not the blue light, turn your screen orange. No, that I don't use that. I don't know many people that do. It's terrible, but it just turns it, basically flips the contrast, black and white. It makes all the difference in the world. So my last final thought, maybe a little tech tip, is don't be afraid of AI. We talk about AI all the time on this channel, and yeah, there's things that, it's just like anything. Bad in, bad out. You're going to have bad actors creating bad programs, doing bad things with good applications. It's so useful. It can benefit you in many, many, many ways. So don't shy away from it. Dig in, use it, and have fun with it. And maybe you can make some funny videos of you and your family. But do it in dark mode. So that's my tech tip, dark mode. It's like a huge. I think you use it on all your stuff too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's universal set in my phone. So
yeah,
if exactly. and of course, in this version of Android, it basically does force apps to follow the what you have set universally. The previous versions, no, there were apps that would still come up bright. But
yeah, I think manufacturers now are pretty much putting it to where it takes system settings as its default. So that way, whatever you've set your phone to, it'll mimic. Which is
now when it first did it, of course, there were issues where it would follow along and it would do the system thing, but their black text wouldn't change to white. So there were some, and or they'd be gray on black, which wouldn't work very well. Something
kind of hard to read that for sure.
So it varies in stuff, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's not bad at all now. I've had zero issues with any apps. Anything I open is dark mode. There's slight exceptions where the idea is it's not supposed to be dark, but have color. It's just, I have nothing that's going to open and be bright white unless I were to switch it. But it's just permanently on dark mode. So just about anything I use is either full of color or it's dark. It's not bright white.
Yep.
So there you have it. So
that's our episode Lionel. This week.
I'm still Lionel. I'm still in Toronto, Canada. And I'm going to do this again.
Like, subscribe, hit all the buttons. I'm Robert in Nashville. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Nanu.